Hello everyone, this is Hassan and welcome to my new lecture on Java programming. So this lecture is called Java Programming Made Super Easy tutorial. So I have found a lot of Java tutorials online, but I think most of them have some problems, like they don't explain things in details. So purpose of this lecture is to make things very clear to you. So let's get started. So this is our lecture 1. So before we actually start programming, I want to discuss few things. So lecture 1, we will not start any programming, but we're going to start some learning some concepts. From lecture 2, we'll start learning programming. So if you're not interested knowing these concepts, you can start from lecture 2, but I highly recommend you to actually understand a few things before you actually start programming. So a few concepts. So for you, first thing, what is a programming language, what is a program, what is an instruction, what is a compiler, and the last, Java programming language. Okay, so first question, what is a programming language? So simply to say, it is used to write programs. Now you will ask, what is a program, right? Next slide, we will have explanation for programs. So programs are written by programmers in a programming language. So you are going to learn Java programming. That means you are Java programmer and you are going to write programs using Java programming language. So next question, what is a program, right? So program is a collection of instructions that perform a specific task. So what is a program? It's a collection of instructions. So for example, a web browser, video game, or Microsoft Office, all these are programs. So in a program, you can see for my lecture I'm using Microsoft Office or PowerPoint, and you can see there are a lot of options, right? So insert, draw, design, transition, animations. So when I click one of them, it shows me a lot of options, right? So this is actually written by programmers that, okay, if someone clicks design, it should show these options, right? So this is a program. It's already written by some programmers. Okay, so let's go to the next page. What is an instruction? So obviously the next question is, what is an instruction? So instruction is like an order given to a computer processor by a program. Remember that everything is processed by the processor. So whatever you do in your computer or laptop, it has to be processed by the computer processor. And we write instructions that can be read by human. So for example, when we will write our codes in Java, we can read this, that, oh, okay, we are trying to do these things, right? But your computer processor, it doesn't understand anything except 0 and 1. So instructions are actually sequence of zeros and ones, nothing else. A processor cannot read anything except 0 and 1. So everything, whatever we write, it has to convert it to a sequence of zeros and ones. So from where the sequence is coming from? So remember, we are writing codes. We understand the code. And then we have to convert the code into a sequence of zeros and ones. And this sequence is obtained from a compiler. Okay, so what is a compiler? Next question. So to execute a program, this instruction need to be translated using a compiler. So we mentioned it earlier that compiler converts the code into a sequence of zeros and ones because computer doesn't understand anything except zeros and ones. Computer translates the source code, so whatever we are going to write using the Java, that will be called source code, and we are going to translate the source code into machine code. So machine code is what? Is a sequence of zeros and ones. Okay. So next topic, Java programming. So now we know a few things about programming. What is a programming language, what it does, and what you can do with it. So with Java programming language is a very popular programming language. It is used for Android apps, so web applications, server apps for financial sectors and other sectors. So for making Android apps, so from this lecture you will be able to learn how to write codes in a way so that you can actually develop an app or a game. And you need to understand the concepts of programming that we are going to learn from the next week. Okay, so for example, so this is a piece of code, just a simple piece of code. What it says, system.out.println, and then we have hello world. So this is a piece of code that you can write using Java. So system.out.println, this is actually a built-in instruction. It understands that when you write this, it's going to print that message. What is the message? Hello world. Okay, and you have to use a quotation and parenthesis, and you have to stop writing this using a semicolon. So when the program sees that okay, there is a semicolon, that means this is the code. If you don't write semicolon, that means it hasn't stopped yet. Okay, and the program will not understand what to do next. Okay, so to write this piece of code, obviously you need a compiler, because remember, computer doesn't understand anything. So for this Java course, initially we are going to use an online compiler called Idion.com. You can search by Idion Java, then you will see the Idion, and when I click Idion, and I'll see that this is the program. From here you can choose the language you want. There are a lot of programming languages here, but we want to do the Java programming, right? So you can see there are a lot of lines here, so 1 2 3 4 5, and there are some parentheses and other curly brackets and everything. So we are not going to start writing program in this lecture. So this lecture is just to give you an introduction, what is programming language and how the Java looks like. So you can see there is a line called your code goes here. So if we write the same code here that we had, system.println, if we copy this piece of code and if we paste it here, and then if you run, you will see that hello world will be displayed. So you can try this by yourself, and we're going to start writing codes from next class. Alright, so that's it for today, everyone. So this is just a brief introduction on programming language. Okay, what is programming language, what is a program, instructions, compiler. Alright, if you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll see you next time. Bye everyone.